So welcome to my Berlin Marathon pre-race chat. On Instagram, I asked my followers what they wanted to know about my race strategy and any questions they had for me. So I've jotted them down and I'm just going to quickly run through them, hopefully not waffle on for too long. And let you know my thoughts ahead of Berlin Marathon, which is now tomorrow. So the way this vlog will work, it'll be very simple, just me talking to the camera, answering the questions, and hopefully you'll get an insight into my thought processes going into tomorrow. It's a great question. My race plan. It was the most commonly asked question, and for a good reason, really. So my plan is different to other marathons I've raced. Normally, I go into a marathon with a set time goal. I train towards that goal, and then I try and hit those splits on race day. And that worked well in some races, and not so well in others. Whereas tomorrow, I'm just going to try and perform the best I can for the shape I'm in. But I'm going to try and race smart. So I'm hoping that I'm in PB shape and can run sub 2:29, but I'm not going to go any strict paces to try and hit that time. Instead, I'm going to try and run a negative split. And here's how I'm going to do it. The aim is for the first 20 to 25 kilometers, so over halfway, to really hold back. Obviously still clipping along pretty quick, but to try and feel like there's a little bit more to give. If I feel good, then that gives me the opportunity to try and kick it on and push on later in the race. It's an interesting course, Berlin. It climbs from 20 to 30k, but after 30k, it's downhill to the finish. So my aim is to really push on that 25 to 30k for the last bit of climb, and then hopefully for the last 10k, I can really get the legs moving and come in with a negative split and hopefully a new PB. It will be a hot day, so that'll have to come into my race plan. Maybe I'll back off a little bit early on. The idea is if I can find a group that are going at about 2:30 pace, I'll sit in at the back of them, clip along, really try and stay relaxed and calm, and hopefully finish strong. Mindset, mental mantras. Yes, this is so important and a huge part of my race day plan. I always go into a marathon with a few mantras that I'm going to rely on race day. I find if you try and think of them at the time, your head's too hazy, it's hurting too much, there's too much going on to think them up. So I go in with my mantras ready. Mantras need to be personal to you and what's going to light the fire inside of you, what's going to help you dig in and grind it out. So I've got mine written down and I'll be taking those into race day knowing that when things get tough, I can rely on my mantras to really pull the last few percent out of me. Yeah, food tonight is gonna be risotto. We're either getting, we haven't worked this out yet, we're either getting like takeaway, delivery risotto, or we're gonna make some. We've actually got a hob in our hotel room and we bought a pan yesterday, so we've been making sweet risotto for breakfast, but we do want risotto tonight and all the restaurants are pretty fully booked. So we'll try and get takeaway, but if not, we'll make some ourselves. So the strategy for the taper was pretty simple, just freshen the legs up, trying to run as often as I normally do, but still keeping some faster stuff in to keep that pop in my legs. The taper hasn't actually been perfect for me. I've had some foot issues, I've had to back off a little bit, but I'm still happy with the way I'm going into the race. I've done a bunch of strides, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling poppy, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Loads of people ask me this question, so I'll be running with Morten jars. I will take 3 with me, and there is one place on the course where they're giving out Morten jars, so if I need a 4th one, I'll take it there. The plan is I'm not going to be as strict. I'm normally very strict with when I take my gels. I'm going to take one at the start line. So what I should say is 3 I'm running with. I'm taking one at the start line, and then I'm taking 3 out with me. Then I'm going to take one at about 10k, about 20k, and about 30k. And that is my normal strategy. But I'm going to be flexible, see how I'm coping. It is going to be warm, and they do have Morten 160 drink out on the course, which is brilliant, really good. And it suits me because it's what I practiced with for my ultra marathon, so I'm really used to it. So as it's a hot day, I might take some of that on as well. It's not something new, it's something that I've tried. And Morten has just sat with me really well, so hopefully it'll be good out on the course. Yeah, I think we all have doubts during a race, and if you don't get doubts and you're not prepared for how to deal with them, then it can be tough. These things pop into your head, negative times, you might go through a bad patch. If you watched my last vlog in my last race, I went through a bad patch and I started to think of these negative things. But the key is just to keep on telling yourself positive thoughts, positive mantras. Be strong, I've prepared for this will pass. Things like that to get yourself through. I saw a really good analogy the other day that we're like computers, and it depends what program you run, depends on what your output is basically. So if you pour in positive programs, if you pour in the positivity, the output is a good result. Whereas when those negative thoughts arise, if you let them fester and start thinking really negatively, it can impact your performance. So for me, if I start to think negatively, I'm just going to override it and just start telling myself, you are strong, you are prepared, this is your day, come on Matt. And hopefully that will help me get through a bad patch and finish strongly. Shoes, I'm going with the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent, the first version. I've actually found the second version to be a bit firmer, and I haven't enjoyed them as much as the first version, so I'll be going with those. Last time I raced a marathon, I wore the Alpha Fly. I do love the Alpha Fly, but I'm going with the Vaporfly this time. I've done all my training for this block in the Vaporfly, and they are an incredible shoe. They are so efficient. My heart rate is lower when I wear them, so yeah, I'm looking forward to racing in them. So the carb load, I've carb loaded too much in the past, so I'm trying to not do that this time. I have eaten a little bit too much this week just because we've been to some nice restaurants and the food's been so good. But today I'm just not eating light, but I'm just eating normally. I'm already full of glycogen. I've done much less running this week. I've had some more carby meals, so I'm good. I'm ready to go. So just something light tonight, just a risotto. I had a small lunch today, so yeah, nothing too much, and hopefully I'll feel good on race day. My race day ritual, it's very simple. Shower, have your breakfast really early, a few hours before. Little warm up, a few strides, if there's space to do that sort of thing. Sometimes there isn't. And then a gel just before you go. And then, then you're going and then you're racing. Nothing too fancy about it, but it seems to work. Lucky pants? No lucky pants. I haven't raced well enough for anything to be lucky. I'll just be wearing run underwear and my sore shorts over the top, and yeah, that's it. So my goals are a bit more vague than normal. My goal is to negative split. That's what I want to do. I want to finish strongly. I've never negative split a marathon, so that's something I want to do. My B goal is to PB. I would absolutely love a PB. And my C goal is to perform the best I can given the conditions and the shape I'm in. So I just really want to get the best performance out of myself that I can. And that does mean going all in, really gritting your teeth and getting through it, but it also means racing smart. After the race, I'll be straight on the Enhanced Recovery protein drink, which is a mixture of protein and carbs and omega-3. It's got all the good stuff, so that'll hopefully help my recovery. But then it's pretty much eat loads of food, get on the beer and celebrate with Kelly. I think we all get nervous, and I'm particularly bad the night before a race of not getting much sleep. So for me, I try and bank sleep in that week. And to be fair, because we've come out here early and we've got no kids, and it's actually much easier to get some decent sleep. So I've slept really well the last few days. So I'm feeling super recovered and fresh. And even if I sleep badly tonight, I'm going into that race confident that I'm recovered and I've had enough sleep. So that's what I would recommend, is try and get as much sleep as you can when you're not as nervous. So I'll be carrying my gels in my sore shorts. They have some pockets at the back where you can slide the gels in, and they have like some what would you call them, rubber bands at the front where you can put your gels. And what I like about them is the way it's distributed. It doesn't bounce around, which I've had with other shorts that have had these sorts of things. I used to use a flip belt, and a flip belt's a great option because again, it doesn't bounce around. But tomorrow I'll be using the sore shorts because I've practiced with them in training and they're just so good. Yeah, I always study a course. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. So obviously initially I just thought, okay, Berlin's the fastest course out there, fast and flat. when I looked into it a bit more, I realized there is a bit of a climb up to 30k, but then you come back down. It's only marginal, but you do notice it in a marathon when you're going a little bit up and a little bit down. So I need to be aware of that and not panic if my pace starts to slip at 20 to 30k. Just accept, okay, I'm putting out the same effort. That's fine for the pace to go down a bit, because I'm really going to try and get the legs rolling when I hit 30k. I touched on it earlier, and yeah, heat's a big thing. It's going to be 24 degrees, even early. Even when I start, it's going to be like 19 or 20, which is not ideal, because physiologically, heat does impact you. People say, oh, I'm okay in the heat, but it will impact you. Physiologically, it will impact you. So I need to take that into account. If the pace that I think I can sort of hold and feel comfortable doesn't feel comfortable, I will be backing off a little bit, because as I said, my strategy is to pick it up, and I'm only going to be able to pick it up if I run within myself slightly at the beginning. I'm hoping that the weather forecast isn't spot on, and that it's a little bit cooler, and I'm hoping the buildings offer some shade. And yeah, I'm not going to panic about it, because you can only control what you can control. So whatever the weather is, I'll race in that weather. But I would have liked it to have been a bit cooler. Tomorrow's breakfast is a sweet risotto. Kelly got me onto this. She's been eating this before sessions and long runs, and it's really good. So I tried it and I love it. It tastes great, but also it seems to help you perform really well. I've always found that rice sits a bit better than pasta, and this sweet risotto is a great breakfast. What have I been up to today? Well, normally I'm at an expo the day before and I cover loads of miles on my legs and I feel a bit rotten. I feel like, oh, I've done too much. Whereas we changed it up a bit this time. We went to the expo yesterday, did all the walking yesterday, so today we have relaxed. I've been working, Kelly's been working, but we've just had our feet up. We haven't been walking around. We've popped out for a coffee, but nothing too extreme. So we've just had a real good taper recovery day, and we're going to feel fresh tomorrow, hopefully. So that's it. My goal is negative split, run it hard, but try and hold back a little bit at the beginning so I can push on, and go all in for Berlin. I'm excited. It's just good to see the return of marathon majors. I'm really excited because this is the first big race since COVID hit us. So it's going to be, yeah, a bit of a celebration. We've already seen so many people out there talking to them, and everyone's really excited. I'm super excited. Kelly's super excited. Go and check out her video, which is already up, all about the expo and all our traveling and stuff. That's really good. And yeah, I will let you know how it goes. You can track me. I don't know what my number is. Just type Matthew Rees in, Swansea Harriers, on the BMW Berlin Marathon app. And hopefully you'll see my splits get a bit faster towards the end. If not, well, I gave it a shot. I am going all in. I am going to give it everything. And for me, this is a free roll of the dice. The 100k Welsh Vest was my goal. This is just a bonus race where I get to try something different and really just roll the dice and see what I come up with. Thanks for watching this. Hopefully it wasn't too boring, just me chatting to a camera. Just my thoughts the day before the Berlin Marathon. I'm not off for a coffee. I'm off for some more electrolytes. And yeah, just hopefully get some good sleep tonight and race hard tomorrow.